Carries. Now we're going to open up the floor to our business manager, Mr. Schott, for a financial report.
Thank you, Mrs. Cerrucci. Similar to last week's meeting, I do have a rather lengthy set of comments to make regarding the COVID-19 pandemic financial effects on the district. Please be aware that this information will be made officially part of the minutes for anyone to be able to go back and to be able to review. But please bear with me. The Gateway School District is expected to receive some form of federal financial assistance as a result of the passage of the Federal CARES Act. A certain amount, still to be officially determined, of federal stimulus funds will be passed through the state to the district, and these funds are expected to be received during the upcoming 2021 fiscal year. All these distribution details still need to be discussed at the state level, and specifically in relation to the completion of the state budget for the 2021 fiscal year. On the surface, the receipt of federal stimulus funds sounds great. However, I want to inform the district stakeholders exactly what the receipt of federal stimulus funds entails. Specifically, when receiving any type of federal funds, there is the immediate issue of supplant versus supplement. Supplanting is essentially replacing state or local revenues with federal revenues in order to make existing expenditure purchases. Supplanting is not permitted with any type of federal funds received by an entity. Supplementing is taking new funds received and developing new expenditures in order to utilize the new funds. This issue will also apply to the federal stimulus funds the district will be receiving. The district will be forced to determine allowable expenditures for the use of the federal stimulus funds and then budget for the expenditure of these new applicable expenditures. The district and all school districts across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania should be given the option to supplant expected decreases in local revenues comprised primarily of interest earnings and local taxes with the new federal stimulus funds to provide true budgetary assistance or relief. If the resulting financial crisis from the current COVID-19 pandemic wasn't taking place, the district would surely welcome the receipt of new federal funds to enable the district to purchase new items and pay for services designed to enhance the student educational experience. In addition, state legislative action in the form of House Bill 974, which is an attempt by state legislators, specifically as of recently as yesterday, an amendment was attempted to be put through to deny a school district of the ability to increase its real estate tax millage rate and corresponding current year real estate taxes for the upcoming 2021 fiscal year. And again, that is still pending. Such an action would have a significant negative effect on the finances of all Pennsylvania school districts. Many school districts were planning to increase their real estate tax millage rates long before the current COVID-19 pandemic occurred. These school districts need these additional funds and do not have any other financial mechanism in place to offset their loss. The district is looking at all aspects of operations for ways to reduce expenditures or even eliminate expenditures now considered to be non-essential. Certain expenditures that can't be immediately reduced or eliminated must be maintained at existing 1920 fiscal year levels. During the COVID-19 pandemic financial crisis, the district absolutely can't permit certain expenditures to increase exponentially while local tax revenues will be decreasing to still yet to be determined unknown levels. Maintaining expenditures at current 1920 fiscal year levels or reducing current 1920 fiscal year expenditures for the 2021 fiscal year is the district's plan of action for attempting to balance the 2021 fiscal year general fund budget. As was done for the current 1920 fiscal year budget, the district is analyzing and identifying required expenditures in the upcoming 2021 fiscal year budget to purchase now in an effort to reduce the outstanding deficit for the 2021 fiscal year. These identified purchases will be presented for board review and consideration at the upcoming May board meetings. I also want to address the issue of fund balance. Those of you who have attended District Budget and Finance Committee meetings have heard me discuss all aspects of fund balance. I want to inform the district stakeholders of the most important aspect related to fund balance. Fund balance should never be utilized to pay for ongoing expenditures each fiscal year in the budget. Fund balance should only be utilized and budgeted for to pay for items that are either non-reoccurring or of a very infrequent nature of occurrence. Fund balance needs to be available for a school district to offset unknown shortfalls or revenues, or to offset unplanned emergency expenditures. The district has a healthy fund balance, However, the culmination of many negative financial effects resulting from the current COVID-19 pandemic will take its toll on the district's fund balance. Anytime a budget is compiled by a school district, the best available historical financial information, estimates, and calculations available are analyzed and incorporated into the budget development process. The district is in uncharted financial waters due to the current COVID-19 pandemic and doesn't have a previous historical period of similar revenue receipts in particular to look back upon to provide guidance on as to how to calculate the exact loss of revenue that will surely occur. The loss of revenue applies to local tax revenues as well as to the unknown effects still to be seen on state revenues. Traditional increases in state revenues will surely not occur under the current circumstances. The district needs to at least maintain current levels of state revenues and not experience any decreases in state revenues. Thank you.
Thank you,
Any
Paul.
questions for Mr. Schott or comments?
Paul, this is John Ritter. You mentioned that the school has a healthy fund balance right now. Is it true that health can be measured in two ways? That is, it's unhealthy if you don't have enough money, and it's also unhealthy if you have too much money. If you collect too much money from the public and businesses so that the school is sitting on a lot of money, that's an unhealthy protocol. And conversely, if they have very little money to work with, that's also an unhealthy condition. And so our bond rating is geared to some small predefined range, and we fit in that healthy range right now. Is that true?
We are definitely in the healthy range. In terms of fund balance, there is what is recommended for a school district to have between 5 and 15% of its current budget in terms of fund balance. As far as you made reference to the bonds, as if you've probably heard me say in the past, Moody's Investor Services, which actually put the most recent rating on the district's bonds that we refinanced during the month of March, they have more of a what I'll call an unrealistic expectation on our fund balance. For them, a fund balance, a healthy fund balance to them is in the range of 22%, which in terms of just to put a rough number on that would be around $17 million. What we're looking at currently, as far as this school year is, and I'm just looking at my one set of notes here, bear with me for 1 second, is a fund balance of maybe around $8.3 to $8.4 million. Obviously, when this particular number was compiled, that was before some of our current rapid decline in terms of our economy was expected. But again, that amount, and even possibly utilizing some of that, would still keep us in the maybe about the 8% range, about a mid-range in terms of between 5 and 15%. So yes.
All right. So if I would ask one more final question about this, if you would, could you characterize what our relative stance is compared to the other 500 school districts in Pennsylvania? And are we in good shape right now? Are we about to go through very difficult times? Are some school districts in extraordinarily desperate times? I mean, we're all going to suffer a bit over the next couple of months and maybe a year or so, but some school districts are going to be in awfully difficult situations. Where do we stand relative to the other 500 school districts in Pennsylvania right now, Paul?
Well, in terms of a specific ranking, I mean, that information I don't know, but in terms of where we are, even ending up with a $7 to $8 million fund balance to begin the 2021 fiscal year, that's a good situation to be in. I would definitely not want to be in a situation where maybe we only had a fund balance of $500,000. With the unknowns that are surely going to occur, and even some additional decreases, again, which we are unable to quantify accurately, having only, say, a $500,000 fund balance, you could potentially lose that entire amount on one of your local revenue tax line items. So again, to be able to have millions of dollars in reserve to help soften the blow from some of those items is definitely a better financial position to be in.
So the storm is about to hit, and we are prepared to fight. So it's going to be difficult, and the school board and the administration are going to do our level best to try to get us through this. I guess that's the colloquial way of saying where the school board's head is right now. Is that true?
That's true.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So we have a lot of unknowns moving forward is what I'm hearing you saying. So we have really no idea what kind of revenue loss we're going to see as a result of property tax revenues and business tax revenues. We all have concerns about the mall and any other businesses in the community that contribute to our revenue that could go out of business. And then we don't really know what the state's going to do next year. We're anticipating they'll be in a deficit, and we're trying to assume that we may have to operate with less money from the state as well. Correct?
That is correct.
Any other board members want to comment or have any questions for Mr. Schott right now?